Mitt Romney takes the Florida GOP primary with more votes than Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum combined. I'm PJTV's Scott Ott, and joining me now from Orlando, PJTV's Alexis Garcia wraps up her on-the-scene coverage from the Sunshine State. Well, Alexis, believe it or not, I asked my Facebook friends what they would ask you. And Jean from Mississippi asks, based on what you saw on the ground in Florida, what's the most important thing that Newt Gingrich should do going forward?
Well, Scott, the most important thing for Newt Gingrich going forward is a battle of perception. We have about a month here until we have the big Super Tuesday primaries on March 6th. There's only one debate. And if we learned anything from Florida, it was that the debates mattered. So he's going to be battling this narrative that the Romney campaign is going to be pushing that this race is over. So he's got to stay in it. He's got to keep his supporters together. And most importantly, he's got to be bringing money in to fight Romney, who has a big war chest. I think he has $20 million on hand, as the report showed yesterday.
Gingrich, I think, has less than $2 million, and he owes a loan of more than $1 million on that. Jason, my Facebook friend from Oregon, wants to know, does it seem as though Mitt Romney is getting a pass from the media while the other candidates are getting more scrutiny? Now, Alexis, you're hanging out with these reporters. What are you hearing whispered over the ice cubes, so to speak?
I don't know if he's getting so much of a pass, but definitely in Florida, Romney had a more coordinated attack against Gingrich. He was able to get him off his game, and you had people asking Gingrich lots of questions about his ties to Freddie Mac. And it was interesting in Florida because there was this story about a robocall on the stump. Gingrich had accused Romney's healthcare plan in Massachusetts as ending kosher meals for Holocaust victims. So I think the Romney campaign did a really good job of keeping the media focused on Gingrich. But I tell you what, Scott, last night when I was talking to some folks, the media is not ready to say this race is over. They want to see this thing play out because, I mean, it's good theater.
Absolutely. Good ratings, good advertising dollars. You hate to see a good fight die. My Facebook friend Julia from Illinois has heard that Mitt Romney now has a Secret Service detail. Is this standard operating procedure for GOP frontrunners at this stage, or have there been some threats?
Yeah, that's correct. His campaign had requested for a Secret Service detail. I haven't heard about any specific threats, but usually when a candidate meets standards such as having enough money or having a higher standing in the polls, they can request Secret Service protection. As you remember, Herman Cain had gotten Secret Service protection late last year. President Obama actually had Secret Service protection before he was the actual nominee. So no actual threats. I think Romney's just getting to the point where he's getting up there in stature and his campaign has asked for it.
Well, as we saw with Herman Cain, stature can be fleeting. John Podhoretz, who is not my Facebook friend, but who writes for the New York Post, says that Florida was really important because it showed Republicans that the Boy Scout, the Ken doll, Mitt Romney, can get tough. Alexis, is that what the GOP really wants, a nasty campaigner? And is that who Romney really is at the core?
I don't think they want a nasty campaigner, but I do think they want someone that's going to take the fight to President Obama. Because as you all know, conservatives and Republicans, the main goal here is to make President Obama a one-term president. Now, I don't think at the core, I don't think Romney's a nasty guy, but I think he learned a lesson in South Carolina. I mean, how many times have we thought Newt was left for dead and he's come back? And we've seen Romney come into Florida. He's been a meaner, more aggressive candidate. He got a new debate coach and it showed. And I don't think he's going to let up on his attacks because I think he knows now that Newt's got to get out of this race for him to be the nominee. And to be quite honest, you know, we talk about how there's been so many debates and how that a drawn-out primary can actually hurt the Republican Party. I think it's actually a little bit better, and Romney admitted this morning on CBS, that it's made him a better candidate. And I tell you what, if he keeps up the way he has been in Florida, he's going to be a formidable opponent against Obama.
Well, Newt Gingrich, of course, wants Santorum to drop out so that conservatives can rally around Newt. But Florida polls actually showed that Mitt would have hammered Newt with or without Santorum. Meanwhile, public policy polling says Santorum would soundly beat Romney in a two-man race in both Missouri and Ohio, while Newt might just squeak by. If Newt really can't trust a President Romney, why won't he and his baggage drop out for the good of the party?
Well, I think we all know Newt. He's got a little bit of an ego. But you're exactly right as far as Santorum. He had a pretty good showing in Florida, even though he skipped the past 2 days. He packed up from the state. He went west. He went to Colorado. He's campaigning there in Nevada today. But You know, we talk about last night, Gingrich had again mentioned that the one thing that Florida proved was that this is a two-man race. And the campaign, the Gingrich campaign, is really counting on Tea Party support to coalesce behind him as their key to victory moving forward. And I think the longer that Santorum is able to stay in this race, the harder it is for Newt to be able to get this group together. So I don't think Santorum's going anywhere. I think he's got the money right now. And if he can have a strong showing in some of these Western states, I mean, this is going to last for the next couple months.
PJTV's Alexis Garcia, thank you for joining us from the campaign trail.
Thanks, Scott.
Stay with PJTV.com for more 2012 election coverage. I'm Scott Ott.